Greetings, ladies and gentlefish. Here are another couple of games dealing with stock tanks. This time they're going to feature the T-150, so again we're in a heavy tank, but you know, we're down at tier 6 rather than tier 7, and it's Russian rather than German. Now this is the first game I ever played in the T-150, so this is the tier 6 Russian heavy tank that leads onto the KV line. So the next you have the KV3 at tier 7 and the KV4, the ST1 or the ST, I don't give a shit, and then the IS4 at the end. So this is a fresh 75% crew. I've trained them with credits to 75%. Stock modules all over the place. I'm using the 122mm howitzer, and we're going to see what we can do. Now, a little bit of advice when trying to grind out stock tanks, because it can be quite a painful process. Firstly, you can use free experience. So there are many ways to use free XP. For those that don't know, free XP is the experience that you accrue as you play the game. For every bit of experience you get that's assigned to a tank, a small fraction of that is assigned to your free experience pool. The other way of getting it is by building up experience on a tank that is already elited, and then using gold, i.e. real world money, to convert that to free experience and then use that. The advantage of free experience is that you can use it on any tank. So if you've got some free experience, then there's many ways you can use it, but probably the best way to use it is to unlock modules on tanks that are painful without them. So, I mean, in particular, some of the tier 9 mediums, for example, have very painful stock grinds, and so it allows you to unlock some of the modules on those machines. So that's one way to try and make your life a little bit easier. Another way to make your life easier, as you go up the tech tree, unlock everything you come across, basically, or have a look at a module. Does this get used on another tank? If it does, unlock it, even if you don't think you're going to use it on the tank in question. So for example, I'm using the 122mm howitzer. That is not actually the stock gun on this tank, but the stock gun on this tank sucks, and I unlocked the 122mm howitzer at tier 5 on the KV1. So I'm using it. It means that I don't have to worry about the armor values of my opponents too much, and I don't have to try and aim too much, which is good because, you know, my crew sucks, so I'm going to have a very long aim time. So that's another way to make your life a little bit easier. Another thing you can do to help yourself is to concentrate on one particular nation. So often nations have, you know, a series of modules that are used on multiple different tech lines, and so the example that I'm particularly thinking of at the moment are the British, but this applies to, you know, pretty much every nation. So, for example, on the British, you get the 17-pounder guns, the 20-pounder guns, the 77mm guns, the Vickers high velocity 75mm, you know, and they're used on both the heavy tanks and the mediums. So if you've already gone down one of those lines, then you'll already have some of the modules unlocked on the other of those lines, and so you can make your life a little bit easier. Another way to make your life easier is to only play your stock tanks to get the ×2 daily double for the day. That means that you do not spend game after game after game playing stock tanks accruing minimal experience. So it minimises the amount of actual time you have to play with a completely stock tank, which may well, you know, if you played more time with it, it may well get you very frustrated. So there's just some tips on playing stock tanks. Now, to the game in question. As I say, this is the first game that I've ever played in this tank, and I should say this is on Redshire. Now, I suggest you if you're in a top tier heavy tank, I really recommend coming to the point that I've come to on this map. And this is where the fighting tends to be much more close range, and you can really use your top tier heavy tankiness to brutalise your opponents. I have no idea why their artillery has decided to come here. It's entirely beyond me. And you can see that, you know, my rate of fire isn't brilliant, but I've been slowly racking up the damage. It's nice that I don't have to aim with this howitzer, I just point it at them and I'm going to get some splash damage. And if they're really weakly armoured, like maybe some of the tank destroyers or artillery or something, you know, Hellcats for example, then the HE shell will penetrate and really make their day go very, very badly wrong. So I'm being a little bit cautious because I only have 216 health left. I've taken a number of shots into my turret. The stock turret on this tank is not particularly good, so I'm trying to be a little bit cautious. We're winning 10-3. I mean, this game should be a foregone conclusion, but, you know, I'm sure if you've been playing this game for any length of time, you are painfully familiar with situations where a game should be a foregone conclusion. And you know what? It turns out that it's not. There we go. So Wolverine puts a shot into me, but it doesn't do any actual damage, it just damages my tracks. Oh no, whatever shall I do? He comes around and I put a shot into his rather puny side armour. And that shot penetrates and kills him, which is nice. So there's also this T-150 over here. He's on 59 health. I put him on that 59 health in the first place, and now he's on less than 59 health, and he is dead, and that's my second kill. And often you may well find that a stock tank feels worse than the fully upgraded tank at the previous tier. And that's because firstly you're a tier higher now, but secondly, often, frankly, apart from hit point pools, they are worse. Especially in terms of mobility, and, you know, sometimes you can't even mount the top gun from the previous tier. It does vary, and it can be very frustrating. The dream is real. Nashorn has no armour whatsoever, and so that did rather a lot of damage to him. And he is dead, and that is the game. And so you can see that for my first game ever in this tank, that was pretty successful, and that was a second class mastery, if memory serves. So the next game I'm going to show you is again completely stock modules, no upgrades or anything. Again, I'm using the 122mm howitzer. And so take a look at some post-game stats, and then we'll jump into the next stock tank game. Here is game number 2. So obviously, again, we're still in the T-150, and again, the T-150 is still completely stock. The matchmaking here is somewhat less friendly, so we're not top tier in this one. This is a tier 7 game. I mean, it could be worse. It could be a tier 8 game. This is a tier 7. It is an assault game, and we are defending the Siegfried line. And one other thing I wanted to mention about stock grinds, to make your lives easier, if you find that the stock gun on a tank is utter garbage, as it often is, then you can sometimes already have unlocked a howitzer. This is what I'm doing on this tank. So the stock gun on the T-150 sucks, and so instead of that I'm using the 122mm howitzer, and of course this has the advantage that you don't actually have to aim. You'll get low DPM, but if you're firing high explosive at someone, you don't really need to actually aim too much. You're just going to get splash damage on them, and you'll get a lot of critical hits as well. And if it's a high caliber howitzer like this, it's a 122mm, the heat premium ammunition penetration, 140, is not too shabby, and so you can sometimes use that to increase your damage output. And of course the other way of improving a stock grind is by using premium ammunition to increase the penetration on your gun. I mean, it's not going to make you amazing, but, or probably not, but it may well make your grind decidedly less painful, and we like less painful grinds. So I've just gone into the city. I haven't gone to my usual spot because I'm not really fast enough, I don't really have a good enough gun, and my gun depression sucks. So I'm just going to try and work the city and see what we can do. And I mean, you can see this is a howitzer. It has a bad aim time. It doesn't have a very good reload. The bug with the replay system, the reload timer is not actually showing. The reloads, well, with this rubbish sort of 80-odd% crew, is something of the order of 10-11 seconds. So, just going around here, see who we can see. Hello, Mr. KV1S, how are you today? You are also using the little stubby howitzer. Take that shot, because he was going to disappear, and there we go. Didn't really aim it properly, but high explosive shell hit him and splashed him for 122 odd damage. I mean, the DPM on this gun, in reality, because you're not going to penetrate most of your shots, the DPM is not great, but you can still make it work. So we are losing 1-3 in contrast to the previous game. I'm just trying to side scrape around here, and inevitably one of our teammates is already going, "Noob team, oh my god!" Well, yeah, deal. Welcome to the internet, where people are, well, yeah. You should know by now. So there we go, a shot into the KV-1 for 130 odd damage, and KV-1S polishes him off, which makes the score 3-all, which is somewhat nicer. There's an ARL to my right, which I'm slightly worried about. And there's some guys over to the left. Now we're going to get a bit clustered in a moment. And that KV-1S driver is going to get kind of annoyed as a result. He manages to kill that IS, which is definitely a good result, and we're winning 4-3. So I'm just pre-aiming there in case someone else wants to come around the corner after him, but the KV-1S that was there gets wrecked. Now, KV-1S takes almost 300 damage there. I decide to try and back off, and I'm trying to turn here to face the ARL, and the KV-1S is trying to angle his armor. Now, this is one of those times when it's not really either of your faults per se. You're just getting in each other's way. Now, the KV-1S takes exception to this. He doesn't like the fact that I was in his way. Well, he was in my way too. And he starts having a whinge at me. I'm sorry, it happens, dude. We were in each other's way. This is not one person's fault or the other's. You know, you were just getting in each other's way. That's just one of those things. And he gets killed by an M6. And we're losing 6-8. Now, him getting killed by an M6 is clearly not good. I bounce the shot there from the Panzer Soufflé, which is nice. But I don't penetrate my HE shell, which is annoying. And maybe I should have loaded a heat shell here for more damage, but meh. I just stick with the HE. That one penetrates. Good thing I kept with the HE for almost 500 damage, which is not too shabby. And suddenly that Panzer Soufflé is feeling decidedly unhealthy. I get hit there by a Stug, and he tracks me. Oh, he's still whinging about me. I don't even know what he's really trying to say. I know there's an ARL behind me. Bang, we put a shot into that Chi Nu. And I'm trying to keep myself moving just in case artillery has a shot on me. I'm never quite sure exactly where is artillery safe and where is not in the town on this map. Chi Nu dies. Panzer Soufflé is also down. And the ARL is also dead, which is nice. So we are winning 9-8. There's a Stug somewhere off to our right-hand side. Hellcat T-150 there. Oh, if I can get a penetrating hit on that Hellcat, that would be hilarious. Bang, he is dead. Unfortunately, someone hit him just before I did, so I don't get all the shiny damage, but I managed to get some. And again, I'm trying not to get in this Su-152's way. T-150 over there. He puts a shot into me, but he's going to be reloading now. I don't really even need to have to aim, but I take the shot early because this Su-152 is going to round the corner and try and kill him, but the Su-152 fluffs his shot as well, and an IS comes in and polishes him off. There's just the 4 of them remaining, and they have 4.5 minutes to capture our base. This is, of course, an assault game, and we are defending, so, you know, the status quo means that we win. So we just have to, you know, make... they have to push the tempo to come and actually force us to die or abandon our base or something. So I'm moving over here. There was a Stug over here last time I was aware, so I'm just seeing if I can find him and make him regret his life decisions. There he is. He puts one shot into me. And yes, that was a bounce. If I can just pause it right there... I looked at the post-game stats. That was not, you know, a critical hit on his gun that absorbed all the damage somehow. That 120mm high explosive shell bounced. According to Wargaming, high explosive shells are not supposed to bounce. Well, it just did. Now, I don't know if that's some sort of server lag or something, but whatever it is, working as intended? I'm not sure. Now everyone seems to be having a go at me at the moment, which is suboptimal. Oh, I put a shot into that Stug. I really wish I'd loaded heat ammo. I wish someone else would deal with him, and our artillery takes him out, thankfully, as I am left with 168 health. So I get moving again, and I really want to find me that artillery, because he made me hurt. So their T-34-1 is the other side of the map. I'm never going to get there in time. Don't know where their PZ-SFL-4C is. Not a clue. And I don't know where their artillery is either. Oh, they found the PZ. There's less than 3 minutes left. Their Panzer Soufflé kills ours. Our T-29 kills their T-34-1. The Chi-Ri is spamming the minimap like it's going out of fashion. And that leaves me basically trying to find the artillery. I've no idea if it'll be this side of the map or the other side of the map, but you know, I give it a go. Apparently artillery is somewhat irritated at our T-29, but what are you going to do? This is the internet. And push onwards. PZSFL gets taken out by our artillery. That artillery was a good player, so, you know, kudos to our griller. He was useful. Had our backs. Was a good player to have. Wondering if I can find their artillery. Come to me, little arty. Come on. I'm not going to hurt you. And you can see, stock especially, the T-150 is not particularly quick by any stretch of the imagination. Kind of slow, kind of sluggish. And, oh, hello, there he is. M41, he's just seen me as well. And whilst my aim time may not be particularly good, it's better than an artillery piece. And there we go, I kill him. And that's the game. And that ends up getting me... well, I certainly get steel wall out of it. I think there was something else, although I can't remember. And that was actually my first class game, in a completely stock tank. Oh, and I lost my radio operator, but who cares. So that wasn't too shabby in the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed those two games. Found them vaguely helpful or informative. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and subscribe to that channel. And I wish you happy hunting on the battlefield. Good luck with your stock tank grinds. And I wish you all the best. Ciao, ciao.